up, guys? Welcome back to another story time. This story time is going to be more like an infomercial on check your shit. When you get something from somebody streetwise, check your stuff. It's going to be a story time on the time my plug was spiking my marijuana with cocaine, ecstasy tablets, pretty much. So at the time, around that time, I was doing it, tabs. And I want to say this was my senior year. But I think when I found this out, it was a year after my senior year. So my senior year, I was doing tabs and I was getting tabs from this plug. So he already knew, you know, that I would do them fundamentally. So, and this was in Hiram Clark. And the guy, rest in peace. He's not, you know, no longer here, whatever. His house got shot up. He was always in some stuff. The average gangbanger shit. Pretty much, I used to buy from him all the time. And one day I was just hanging out at my friend's house and we were smoking and chilling or whatever. And she starts to roll up the weed because I tell her she can roll, and she picks it up and she's like, "Shay, what is this? Like, did you put powder in the weed?" And I'm like, "What?" So I was like, "No, I didn't put powder in the weed. What are you talking about?" So she holds it up in the sun because we were outside on the porch, and you can see like pink powder, pink sparkles, like just glistening all within the weed. So in my head, it's not really registering me at that moment, like, you know, that he purposely put powder in the weed. So I'm thinking, I'm like, maybe, you know, it could have been, because in my mind, I've never been there. I've never had to think like, damn, somebody's spiking my drink, somebody's drugging me. Like, it never occurred to me to think like that. So I texted him and I was like, you know, I didn't get any tabs, but there's powder in my weed. And me being like, 19 at the time, I'm not realizing like this is a grown ass man in his 30s or 40s. And there's like more than an average amount of powder crushed into the weed. Like, it's just sparkly pink weed, which is weird because you can tell and you could see the powder. And then when you smoke it, you could tell, you know, there's a difference. But the people who I was hanging out with already, they did powder occasionally, I think. So they didn't really care. It was just like, you know, it's cool. You know, shit happens or whatever. So we continued to smoke it like the crazy people we were. So I eventually texted him and I was like, "Dude, you know, there's powder in the weed." And he's like, "Oh yeah, my bad, this and that. I had put some tabs in there earlier and then I put your weed in there." What? So it was just like some really stupid backdoor lie about why he did it. But pretty much, I don't know how long he was doing it for. I don't know how much he was putting in there. And I'm pretty sure, you know, he was doing it to make his weed more viable. Because I know plugs do that. They lace their weed and they lace their other drugs with things so people can continue to buy them. So I don't know how long he was doing that, but I do feel like that also contributed to my weight loss, that I was doing drugs that I didn't know that I was doing at the time. So when it came down to it and I got drug tested, when I was about to join the military, it's totally a different story time. I'll post that later. The recruiter informed me that I tested positive for damn near everything on a 12-panel drug test. Cocaine, marijuana, of course, meth, heroin, opioids, just a bunch of different shit was in the tabs in general because I was mainly just taking tabs. But other than that, you know, I was getting weed from this guy. And even after that situation, I was still getting weed from this guy. So I stopped getting weed from this guy, like eventually after, because my best friend at the time, she had just had sex with this dude and he was supposed to give her like 4 grams and some tabs and some Xanax or whatever. But he ended up not giving her shit and just left her outside. So after that, is, I guess, probably when I didn't really contact them anymore because I didn't really want to get into their beef or their drama because she was still talking to him. At the time, like, you know, in my neighborhood and where I was, I guess I wasn't able to get drugs at my disposal. So I tried to stick with one person, me not knowing that this one person was drugging me the whole time. So when I didn't have, you know, his drugs, you know, I'd feel like antsy, my nerves would be bad. I really needed these drugs that he was putting in my weed. So, and I feel like it really contributed to my attitude and, you know, how I was acting back then around that time. Because when I wasn't smoking or doing anything or drinking, my nerves were like really bad. So, you know, I'm not going to say I'm happy that he's gone, but all I'm going to say is karma's a bitch, because it really did fuck me up. Like, it fucked me up really bad, mentally and physically. So please check your marijuana when you get it. It might sound crazy at first, but I still do it till this day, because you never know what people are giving you. So stay tuned for more story time. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. So stay tuned.